Welcome to Weld.com. I want to do some metal prep here. We've had people ask, how do you go about prepping materials for certain procedures and whatnot? And I want to go through the grinding techniques. They really don't take long. There's some things we need to consider. Obviously, eye protection, safety glasses, face shields, gloves. It's warm in here. When my students are grinding, I don't care if they're just wearing a t-shirt. When they're welding, I do want them to cover up, obviously, for UV light. But main thing with grinding and prepping is the technique, where you're throwing your sparks, and things of that nature. So let me get my safety glasses on, put my face shield on. I'll be right back. All right, torch. Got your torch gloves here. I like these rascals a little tight, but I like them so I can feel things, especially when I'm grinding, doing close work, metal prep. Now, the first thing we got to consider here, I don't need a wire wheel on anything. We use a lot of knotted brushes in here for doing brushing. I'm unplugged. Cool thing to get unplugged when you're changing something out. So I want to put a roll cone on. You'll notice that I did that by hand. All of my grinders are hand tight. Also, all of my grinders are 5/8 11 arbor, so I can run all of the same types of wheels, whether they thread on or I've got the backing nut. Roll cone for cleaning the inside of pipe. Again, 5/8 11 thread. The problem that I've seen with some people is they don't get them hand tight. They leave them loose. They come over and they plug their grinder in. What happens is that just spins and locks this. It locks this thing on here tight. I have literally had to put several grinders in the vise and get a pipe wrench and break this loose without breaking it. It's on there so hard. It's bad. I want to do pipe coupons. That's why I put the roll cone on there. I want to start out with doing some plate coupons. Coupons. Good old Arc 1 equipment here. I think my kid's been wearing this thing. His mug's a little smaller than mine. So here's some things that I see going wrong with a grinder. I want to be smart about where I'm throwing my stuff. My spark's coming off of here, so I want to use the right-hand side of the wheel. Also, I've seen a lot of people use these upside down. They get themselves in a position where if the grinder bites and kicks, it comes right back at you, and I don't like that. So I'll demonstrate something that's wrong here. Watch this. People do that because, hey, I can see everything real good. Well, you're shooting your sparks. You're probably shooting them right at somebody. I don't know. They're going to land somewhere. They're going up in the air on lighting. They're going over on equipment. Be cool. Shoot the stuff to the floor. Use the right-hand part of the wheel here. So the first thing I'm doing really is I'm cleaning both surfaces flat. I'm cleaning the bevel face, and I'm putting a root face on it, and it goes just this quick. Those two coupons are done. They're both consistent, 3/32 face. 3/32 face. All surfaces are clean. So here's something that I see a lot of too, and I just had this happen to me, so I'm very careful of it. This grinder has an 1/8 inch blade on it. The one that I use has a 1/4 inch blade for grinding the plates here. An 1/8 inch blade is designed to run on edge. It's used to grind stringers, get down in, make repairs, cut and everything. If you flat grind with an 1/8 inch blade for a little bit, what do you think happens? Well, it gets real thin out here and it gets a little unstable, and you start spitting parts, and by centrifugal force, these things fly all over the shop. I have been walking through the shop and had specks of stuff hit me, either from a knotted wire wheel, used correctly. I mean, you know, things happen, and I've also had pieces of this break off and hit me various places, and it happens. I've had these actually explode on me, used correctly. In some pretty strict areas like boiler room inside Conoco refinery. I had one actually explode on me with my face shield down, and when it exploded, I heard it hit the face shield hard. It was loud, and so I stopped, unplugged everything, and a couple safety guys came over and they said, "Are you okay?" And I said, "Yeah." And they go, "You need to go look in the mirror." I had a big old welt right here underneath my eye. It looked like I got hit with a bullwhip. So a piece of this, however it happened, because the face shield was down against my chest, however it happened, instantly I had a piece of this come off and smoked my cheek right here. Now it hurt. So, you know, that's that split second you want back in life that you'll never get. People get cut. Here's another bad thing I've seen. I mean, this is even worse. This is one of these super thin 45 thousandths cutoff wheel. And I've actually watched people try to grind, flat grind, you know, like they're cleaning stuff. Good Lord, this thing flexes like crazy. These things will break on you real quick. They'll bind up. So you just got to be smart when you're operating grinders. You'll notice that all my grinders, when I set them down, are pointing up like that so I can grab the handle. I've had grinders in the past that have a paddle switch over here that don't have a safety on them. And you set them down, you know, and you got them over here like this, and all of a sudden they come on. You set them down and that activates the trigger and they jump off the table and eat a cord up or something, you know. You just gotta be smart about what's going on. You'll also notice that every one of my grinders has a guard on it and it stays on there all the time. I see a lot of pictures out on people working in various places, and first thing they do is take the guard off. This 4.5 inch grinder, and they've got some monstrosity of a wheel on here. So when you're operating it, you know, your hand is like 1/8 inch away from a high speed wire brush. I don't get it, you know. You want to start some accidents, there you go. The guard's on here for a reason. It was made that way. Leave it on there. Students will try to come in here, they think it's cool to take the guard off, and they bring it in here like they're gonna work in this shop. No, it ain't happening in this shop. Now, one thing I do get a little bit concerned with is, you know, we got a guard on this rascal here. We got this big old thick flapper wheel job on here that sticks out past it. I don't know what to do about that. So, you know, these are the ones with the interlock back that's got the thread on them. We operate them like that. I don't see too much of a problem of these when people use them. Safety wise, again, you know, if I'm gonna clean coupons, which I may do this outside surface over here, this is plasma cut, so I need to clean it, especially if I'm gonna TIG weld. But they'll float on here pretty good. I don't see a whole lot of people. I've seen people try to use them over here, again, incorrectly on the left side, but it's not that big of an issue. So, all right, we want to do some pipe coupons next, I believe. Okay, pipe coupons a little different. You know, obviously the old days, and I still do it too, half round file, cleaning in on the inside of the pipe. I've seen some pictures of people's TIG welds out on Instagram, and it's like they never clean the inside of the pipe. Man, their root bead looks like it. It's rough because of all the oxides and rust and stuff that we plasma cut these. So on one of these coupons, we're shooting a fair amount of stuff on the inside of the pipe. We're shooting a lot of garbage on the inside. This bevel would be going back the other way. So, you know, this is fairly clean, but again, I still need to clean them. The first thing I want to do is I want to clean the inside of the pipe, because if I clean the outside and then I put my root face on and then I went and cleaned the inside of the pipe, I just wiped my root face off and then I'd have to do it all over again. So the cool thing to do is go ahead and clean the inside of your pipe well. So we have two pieces of pipe here. We had a couple of plate coupons. Now we're going to clean some pipe coupons. Got this? I need to turn it just a little bit. There is a way to flat grind where you're laying this flat and kind of rotating. I've done that a lot, especially with the 9-inch, great big wheels. And then the 9-inch you can also set up here flat and catch this entire face. Not too much of an advantage to it, but I'm going to clean this my method. Okay, so I have the inside of the pipe cleaned back for stick, MIG, TIG, whatever process we're going to use. And I have the outside already clean. It was clean before, but it's good to take this rust, mill scale, cosmoline, whatever's on this pipe, and cut it back a good 1/4, 3/8, 1/2 inch. It's good to clean that back away from the weld area. This is 4-inch schedule 80, so it's got some beef to it. And so now I just want to put the root face on. Now, if this was a full joint of pipe sitting on jack stands, then I would probably start up here, you know, and shave this around in position, but I want to make it all consistent. I'm doing it up here on the table. I just want to kind of scratch around this thing. I want to pull this toward me. Flapper wheel Doesn't really cut, it's not that aggressive. I didn't want it to be because I'm creating a TIG fit here, which is a really small root face. I just want about a 1/16 on here, which is about what I got. So I'm clean inside, outside, bevel face, and I have my root face that I like. There's some people just do feathered edges. I like a root face. I mean, pipe fittings come to me, elbows, tees, reducers, you name it. It's all got a root face on it. I just try to skinny it up a little bit and work with that. I don't like grinding it all off to a sharp bevel, okay? So, in any event, those are a couple of things to be aware of. Watch where you're throwing your sparks. Safety gear, face shield, eye protection at all times, comfortable pair of gloves to work in that you can feel. Be smart, be safe, be comfortable. Quality coupons. We got to have good coupons or good welds. Thanks for watching Weld.com.
Better on this one.
The audio? You don't have audio. That's the problem. You're always mouthing off that you don't have any audio. Our esteemed constituents can't hear you and your funny stuff. You're kind of a funny guy, you know. What happened to your jaw, man? Somebody slap a pop knot on you or something? Slap something on you Ajax won't wipe off? It looks like you fell. We need to get you on film, man. You're all roughed up. You heard of that R.D. Mercer guy, right?
I've heard of him.
Funny guy. Davey Blackburn, he's heard of R.D. Mercer. I think Davey wants me to take you out on the golf course, play a little golf.
Is that so?
Do some R.D. Mercer golf. You know what that is? You know what that is?
What's that?
That's where I take you out on the golf course and pour a 55-gallon drum of butt whip all over you.
You mean whoop ass?
Whoop ass, yeah. Well, I didn't know what I could.
Butt whoop.
I didn't know what I could say on camera. I thought this was a family channel, so. All right, let's do a video.
55-gallon drum of butt whip sounds kind of gross.
It's generic. And a 55-gallon drum full. Wow.